There we are. We're in the zone. You're in the zone. Get in the zone.
I'm so in the zone. I love this week. It's right in my backyard. The weather is good. Like, we've gotten so much rain in LA in the past couple of weeks, and this is the first week in like 2 weeks where it's going to be mid 60s and pretty sunny. So I'm going all 4 days. I will be at the golf course, maybe hopefully even for a practice round if I can swing it. But I can't wait. I love Riviera. Who doesn't love Riviera? Riviera, Tiger's back. Going to be a lot of fun this week.
It's funny that the broadcast used that terminology. I think it was Nick Taylor's in the zone. And I'm like, because Sir Trevor Immelman follows me now.
Does he? He's a great guy. I'd love to get him on the podcast one time. He's got some interesting thoughts about a lot of things. Obviously, he's a pretty sharp golf mind in general.
I think that
seems like a great dude.
No, he does it great in the broadcast. I think that Michael Kim said this. Twitter phenomenon. Michael Kim said this. That Kisner, he liked Kisner on the broadcast, and I really like him too. And I think he does a great job because he's a contemporary. He knows these guys. He's played with them. He doesn't occupy space with too many words like Azinger did. He knows where to fit in the stuff that's important, and I think he's doing fantastic. I love listening to him. But I can tell you that who reminds me of Kisner a lot from his attitude and his grittiness is Nick Taylor. And put that in your notes for next year. We used to call it strokes gained guts, but the waste management has gone, completely off the ledge, which I like. I mean, I love seeing Zach Johnson freak out. But guys like Taylor or Hoffman, who are kind of gritty guys of the people, the crowd went absolutely bananas for just grinder Nick Taylor at the end, right? It didn't really matter that it wasn't Scheffler. They still loved Taylor win. And he was a savage all week. A savage. And I cannot believe how good of a putter he is, right? I should know this because of his success at Pebble Beach. But, man, that guy did not quit. I feel badly for Hoffman. I feel badly for Hoffman. And it's not like in the golf sense, I'm so broken down that a golfer didn't win millions. But Hoffman's a guy that's been out there forever. You don't know much about him. You just know he's a dude. He just doesn't complain. He used to have the long, stringy hair. He's just a legend and a rock star. So I said a lot of nothing there, but you can continue now. It's your choice.
You were pretty heavy. I know you're a Hoffman guy. Like you're the only guy I know that you have bet Hoffman multiple times this year, and I know that you were. Did you play him this week in Phoenix, or you just live bet him? Because I know I will hand up the Nick Taylor mess, which I was kind of tough on myself because one of the things that I talked about a lot in terms of Phoenix was the stickiness of the course history, right? And that this was, by the way, we have another week of that here at Riviera coming up, but the top 5 courses on the PGA Tour in terms of the correlation of course history: Augusta, Giant Gap, Waialae, Riviera, Phoenix, and Bay Hill. And so Nick Taylor was kind of this obvious 7.2K course history. I know, right? Me too. Course history guy that I didn't actually have any exposure to. I know a lot of people in the Discord did. But Hoffman was from the clouds. Like he hadn't. I was getting ready to tweet this because there was a little bit there on Sunday where it looked like Hoffman was going to run away with it, and Scheffler was kind of going to be the story of how did Hoffman beat Scheffler, and then it ended up being Nick Taylor that kind of came around and stole the show from everyone. But I was comparing the last 2 years of Scottie Scheffler and Charlie Hoffman, and they've both played like 55 times in the last 2 years. and Scotty Scheffler, I believe, has more top fives than Charlie Hoffman has made cuts in the last 2 years. And it's like, don't give me this variance doesn't exist in golf. Okay. Our friend Kobe just won $100,000 this week playing nobody over 11% on DK. And like I said, sometimes I think that is,
it'd be funny if you won 100K playing Zach Blair in his lineup, just to let you know.
That would be hilarious. And I think the depth of the PGA Tour is sometimes a big detriment to the PGA Tour's excitement. And I think sometimes it's a big asset as well. I think it was an asset week.
Yeah. But, Charlie Hoffman's a waste management sponsor. And, he's always played tough courses well. You talk about the course history. Look at him at Augusta on Thursday. He was always the guy that was -8, right? Your first round leader. He's just a very good long iron player, and he's tough. He's just gritty and he's tough. He's a guy that really a lot of these fans can root for, and that's why we like him. Like in Nick Taylor now. Nick Taylor's the same. He's a Winnipeg kid. He's tough. I mean, listen, if you grow up in Winnipeg, and he didn't grow up his entire childhood in Winnipeg, but if you're a great golfer out of Canada in Winnipeg, where it's winter 11.5 months a year,
sure,
you've got some sort of skill that, like, even in a Hadwin, I mean, people bust on him all you want, but a lot of these Canadian guys who don't get the golf exposure as much as guys who play in the South, it's something to take note of. So waste management, still love it. Got out of control Saturday. Weather was shit. Not this week. We're finally going to have 4 days of
good weather,
of pure conditions, right?
Yeah.
Kevin's gardening right now. Saul Goodman. When do we get to the questions? I have a few. Here's the first one. Okay. The comedy in our Discord from Saul Goodman is free. It's not an upgraded package. He workshops bits 24 hours a day. This
Natalie's
week, though,
in there as well. She's fired. She's firing early here on a Monday morning. We're big. Were you, just real quick, and then I promise we'll get to Riv. Were you Chiefs or 49ers last night?
Chiefs. I've said it on NFL shows. I said there is a certain cosmic energy and NFL desire for the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, that 1% or whatever, San Francisco will know it late. They'll feel it late. They'll drop a punt or something, because, I mean, and the Chiefs almost had the exact scenario played out with 6 seconds to go, with Kelsey scoring the winning touchdown, no time left. That didn't work out. So Goodell had to reconfigure the game script into overtime. But yeah, I mean,
they are inevitable. I was a victim to my own data on that one too. I just thought the 49ers were such a more complete football team. But no, the reason I bring it up is because Natalie's huge 49ers family. So her first comment in the chat this morning was, "Happy Monday to everyone except the Chiefs, Brittany Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Jackson Mahomes." The Jackson Mahomes stuff, I just can't get over. I just can't get over the Jackson Mahomes stuff.
He's an interesting dude, that's for sure. NFL is over. It's golf season, baby. I know. It's funny. Here's some. One thing we should talk about every week is who are we writing off in golf now? Who has had their moment in the sun? Who has now lost their utility for us? Whose half-life is, doubling minute by minute? Someone replied in the comments, "Go talk about how good Yuan and you are." Listen. Yuan. Yes, we can shelve him. It was a nice little run for a little bit for Carl Yuan, but no more. And thankfully, those two aren't playing this week.
Yuan and you. I think Yu's in the field, actually.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a problem.
He is $6,300, $200 cheaper than Tiger Woods. Just shot out of a cannon, Wiley. Better DFS play. Kevin Yu 6.3, Tiger Woods 6.5.
Well, here's the thing with Tiger. Tiger has never won on this course, nor has Jack Nicklaus. And Tiger has specifically said, these are the greens I have struggled with most in my career. That's paraphrasing. But I remember him in an interview with Bubba Watson, who did do well here.
Yeah.
But Tiger, for some reason, could never solve this course. And it was the first course he ever played as a pro, right?
I think his first professional debut was in Vegas, but yeah, this has been his white whale. Like he's never been able to tame Riviera.
And Rory said it last year and in previous years that, and this from a difficulty standpoint, this ranked I think 17th out of 58th last year, and the year before was 10th, the most difficult courses on tour.
Yeah,
and the difference is that on these POA greens, and Rory said it, that he believes that from a 3-foot putt standpoint, we miss the most here. I mean, 3-foot, 5-foot, 10-foot putts are very difficult. Plus, you cannot get away without around the green prowess at this course with the shave runoffs, the speed of the greens, the wind if it picks up, which I'm not sure it does this week. But if you look at number 10, if no one has ever played DFS and played DFS and watched this, this tournament, number 10 will absolutely mess up your life. It will. It seems like the easiest, shortest par 4 on tour, but it will just screw with your head. And if you have a guy that's long in the rough left on number 10, first hole of the tournament, and you know that your guy is not really in the upper class around the greens, you're fucked. You are a 7 early. And what did Scheffler do last week? I mean, Scheffler again, a great performance, but
great play. Underowned. Like Scheffler was underowned, in my opinion, at that price.
What pulled him back last week? I think he was negative strokes gained around the green.
Yeah, barely. But yeah, I mean, he was kind of neutral putting and around the green and led the field off the tee and approach. So it was a pretty classic Scheffler week from a statistical standpoint.
By the way, people don't believe that I go to Supercuts, and I went there today at 11:30 in the morning, right? Because this show is brought to you by Supercuts. Grab yourself a cut today. You didn't know that?
No, I know. Sometimes I get confused about all of our active partnerships.
No,
Supercuts, Home Depot, one of them. In the zone. Got tons of promo codes out there.
No, you use code Andy at any Supercuts and you get a free haircut. Just bring your own scissors. Right?
Okay.
So the Christine and the ladies at Supercuts in Lexington, literally, because I told them, I said, no one believes I go here. They literally watched this show and other shows in the past, and like on YouTube, and watched our shows, and we're loving that Supercuts was mentioned. So there you go.
There you go.
All right, this course. You talk.
Okay. Well, I mean, one of the things that
I'll take care of Natalie. You keep talking.
Okay. So I wrote a lot about this golf course in the article on runpuresports.com right now. I think it's the best golf course on the PGA Tour that's not a major, that's not for a major. I think George Thomas is one of the best architects to ever do it. I think this is like an American masterpiece. Unfortunately, I think it's been compromised a little bit by how far the golf ball travels today and driver head technology. And this is a golf course that historically in the past has been, a shot maker's golf course, right? It's why Bubba Watson has loved it. This is why Ben Hogan has loved it. This is why there's this giant Augusta connection here between all these players that like your Adam Scotts and your Dustin Johnsons and your Bubba Watsons, is because it requires that same type of shot making and creativity where, it doesn't really favor a draw or a fade specifically. You kind of have to work the ball both ways to have a lot of success. As you've mentioned, short game is incredibly important at this golf course as well. Now, the thing that I would keep in mind that I have noticed every year in the data with Riviera is that a lot of these dog legs are cuttable now. This is a golf course with a low missed fairway penalty. there is no water on this golf course. There's no hazards on this
Meaning
golf
what
course.
low miss fairway penalty? Like
Meaning that if you miss the fairway, your ability to salvage the same score that you would have gotten had you hit the fairway is very similar.
okay.
Because and the fairways are so narrow and canted that it has a 50% driving accuracy percentage that not even the most accurate drivers of the ball aren't always hitting these fairways
Right.
either.
And that's what Homa said last year. He said, listen,
Yeah.
the fairways are so firm and fast that you get a lot of run out, but you're
Totally.
still sometimes going to end up in the rough, in the Kikuya, which is like Velcro per Trevor Immelman.
Right.
But you still have, if you get a good run out, you still have a shorter club in, which you want.
Yeah.
Now,
and
if you're short and you get hung up with a long iron, it's
adios.
Yeah.
We don't want short and inaccurate here. But yeah, and I mean, you look at the past couple of leaderboards, the winners, like Rahm won here, losing to the field significantly in driving accuracy. Joaquin Niemann lost significantly to the field in driving accuracy. Cameron Young, Will Zalatoris, all of these guys have finished top 5. Victor Hovland are finishing top 5 at Riviera and now hitting less than 50% of their fairways. So one angle that I am taking this week that I know that Riviera doesn't get talked about or thought about as this like bomber's paradise golf course. But I disagree with that from a 2024 version of Riviera. I think this is a golf course where the distance problem is kind of manifesting in real time. And one way that I think I may have an edge here and be able to look at this golf course a little bit differently is that, to me, hitting the ball a long way and sacrificing accuracy for distance based on how I would map out the course is an angle that I'm taking this week, along with short game and obviously experience on POA greens. So, like, to me, this is a driver short game course more so than it has been in the past. So, I mean, there are a lot of different ways that you can take that, but one of the things that I see in the numbers is the importance of power off the tee at this 2024 version of Riviera.
Yeah, and on more difficult tracks, and that's why Homa has had success here. Not to mention he's a California guy, but you want on these large greens to set yourself up correctly in the fairway, but B, also position yourself on the right side of the green, because there are different. You don't want to short side yourself. You don't want to go long. A conservative player like Max Homa, which last week don't play him. I don't play him in high scoring events, but in courses like this where you have to be very smart and strategic, that is the kind of player I like in Homa or Morikawa, who are long enough in the fairway, can hit the fairway, but also are extremely gifted at hitting the right side of the green and not giving up bogeys or doubles, making par like a Tiger and moving on. I don't think it's not a course where, because the difficulty putting, you can make all these putts and make a ton of birdies. That's why Homa, I think, thrives here. That's why I like him here. He might be my most heavily owned at this point.
Wow, interesting.
Cam Young. See now, Cam Young showed enough last week that people are going to go back to him, and he can be a very addictive player because of how interesting he is off the tee. His Sunday, though, his sort of the Cam Young going backwardsness was probably difficult for me to be really heavy on him this week yet.
Also, look at the guys that we'll get to the eights in a second. I want to start with the top, but Cam Young is surrounded by amazing options, in my opinion. in the mid to high eights.
Yes. Yeah. Some of the pricing here is interesting this week.
So can we talk about that a little bit? Like what is kind of your first reaction to this? Like, let's start at the top. You have, and we'll get to Xander, cause I've got some stuff on Xander this week, but like just Rory and Scheffler again in their own tier. Scheffler's 11.5, Rory's 11.2. Scheffler is the same price that he was, I believe, at Waste last week. The only difference is you have a Rory there right next to him. Now, I thought Scheffler at that price was under-owned last week. I don't know how you watched Scottie Scheffler play golf last week and feel worse about him. I guess if you're making the case, because he's the best ball striker since Tiger, and it's not particularly close. And he has proven that over a large sample size. Now, the case against Scheffler is these are much more difficult greens than the greens that he had at Waste. So last week, Scheffler finished third as a neutral putter. Is it in the range of outcomes that Scheffler's putter gets going completely in the wrong direction this week on tougher puller greens, and he finishes T16? Yeah, it's in the range of outcomes, right? I think his floor in Phoenix is a little bit higher than his floor at this golf course, is just because how cold the putter can get on these particular greens. But man, the way that Scheffler's hitting the ball right now on a golf course that emphasizes ball striking once again, like this is a low greens and regulation percentage. Scheffler has one of the best short games in golf too. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable going higher than a floor of T15 for Scheffler this week. And Rory has, or ever. And Rory has proven to us, like he did at Pebble, that Rory is a more, highly variable golfer than Scheffler in my opinion. But I'm curious how ownership shakes out, because, Rory was low owned at Pebble Beach and stunk. So what's driving you to Rory here at this price?
Yeah. So the thing, why golf is so difficult because of the variance is that you need the larger sample size in golf versus other sports. NBA, you can be pretty predictive of what, based on someone's minutes, what they're going to do in a 42-minute, 35-minute, time on the floor, or like a Jamar Chase, what he's going to do in 4 quarters. He's going to get 11 targets, 7 catches. He's going to get X amount of yards and probably a touchdown, right? You just know that because those plays are set up. It's, he's one of the better players in the field. He does things that other players cannot do. So you're pretty safe in that projection to be correct. With golf, even though a Nick Taylor or a Hoffman smoked a Homa or beat a Scheffler, it doesn't make them the better golfer. But they can be a better golfer in 1 round, maybe 2 rounds, and possibly even 4 rounds. They can't be the better golfer over the course of 40 tournaments in a year. And that's the difference. If you had 1 player, do you take Scheffler in 40 tournaments? Of course.
Yeah.
But can they be beaten more often in 1 round or even 4? Yes. The difference is when you narrow the field now to 70 players, and it has a cut. There's a cut. It's ridiculous as it sounds. There's a cut.
Which can we just talk about for 1 second, not to get us derailed, because I want to talk about the pricing. But I'm so confused about this from a marketing standpoint, because I go to this golf tournament every year.
Why cut 2 people?
well, the guy with the highest miscut equity in this field is Tiger. And you're just going to lower the amount of money that you can make on this event if Tiger doesn't play the weekend. Like, the crowds here every year are insane for Tiger Woods. Like, that's why I love going to this golf tournament, because if you decide not to follow Tiger Woods, you can see a lot of great golf shots from some great players. So Tiger has the highest miscut equity in this entire field. Like, he is the lowest floor in this entire field. Why would you enter in the possibility for him not to play the weekend at Riviera when you could sell so many more? I'll just say, like, I love Los Angeles. I love living here. This is going to be the home for the rest of my life. It's not a great sports city. Okay. People are just going to go to the beach if the weather's great. I went to LACC and that was like a very poorly attended tournament. Half the city didn't know that it was happening. The way to drive ticket sales at Riviera is Tiger over the weekend. And I think there's like a over 70% chance that Tiger misses the cut this week. So it blows my mind. I don't get it at all.
I think you're overvaluing the ability for the PGA Tour to make good decisions with their brand or in marketing. And
Very fair.
People think I bang on the Live Tour because of some political affixation. I don't give a shit about politics and Live Tour. What I'm saying is that I'm tired of these big brands telling us what we want as fans, to gaslight us that these teams are the way to go, or that this product is working when they get 9,500 live on a Saturday with that leaderboard. Okay, I have the same complaints with the PGA Tour in that the Waste Management Phoenix Open is the greatest energy, highest energy, best marketing vehicle for the PGA Tour. But I was jokingly said that, of course, Jay Monahan's going to come out at the end of the tournament, tell everyone to quiet down, and then hand out like trifold brochures, telling people how they can mail in to grow the game. Of course, they're going to make decisions like this where they can have, top 50 in ties, and then
71 in a 71 man field. So like, let me just lay out this scenario for you. There's a cut this week, but if every single player in the field is within 10 strokes of the leader, which happens often on
one person can be cut. How humiliating is that?
Actually, thinking about it that way, it'd be kind of funny if that
happened.
And from a DFS perspective, think about how much more that increases the importance of getting your all 6 guys through.
I hope it's Aberg for all you Aberg lunatics.
We can get there. Yeah, we can get there. But it's a fascinating format to me this week. I actually had to correct myself on the podcast because I said on my Sunday morning podcast, there's no cut, because it made no sense to me why there would be a cut. And then I found out there was a cut. So I had to correct myself.
Can you imagine the golf people with you making a mistake in golf? They fucking fixed their glasses and they got their fucking pen out and they got their keyboard and they were over you.
Yes. Somebody told me real quickly. Okay. So anyway,
Andy.
Yeah, I know. I get a lot of Andys in my life. All right. So Rory Scheffler, I think there's a good squeeze opportunity on Rory. I love this golf course for Rory, but it's going to be difficult for me to get off of Scheffler. That's going to be kind of an ownership decision for me. We get a little bit lower. Xander, Hovland, Homa, Morikawa, Cantlay. JT's price is bad. And Aberg Colt is in full force. So what do you make of the 10s and the 9s?
I think that the difference is that it's a no cut event and Aberg just finds ways to score, right? Well, no cut event. I don't think he's going to be one of the cuts. He really impressed me at Pebble. He is a very impressive golfer. And so, Aberg, Aubert, at 9-2, even you Coulters, who I want to go the opposite direction of, I don't think I can ignore that. But P. Cantlay, right? This is, I'm like 9-3 for P. Cantlay, 9-5 for Morikawa, Homa. I can make a case for fading anyone above 10K, right? The problem with Rory at 11-2 is very little known stat. Very little known stat. You have to dig way deep on the Google interface to find this, is that he sucks. He sucks. He's not, he's just, it's like the best thing that Keith said last week, by the way, on the premium show, Keith Stewart, that was excellent because he was paddock betting. He was telling us some people that didn't look good. And for the most part, he was correct. Siwoo Kim looked great. Yeah. Matsuyama, was Matsuyama.
He called the Sungjae too. Sungjae was, there are a lot of problems with our guy Sungjae right now.
The thing that he said the best was, you have to understand that Ricky is just not at the level of these golfers anymore. Give up the history, dude. Same with Hideki. At this point, he's just not like the world is caught up. I mean, I think the Abergs can catch up to Rory at 11-2 as well.
So I talked about this in a podcast I just recorded, but I think the case for Aberg is, and let's just operate and let's get out of the ownership frame for a second, because I think he's going to be very highly owned. But the case for Aberg is this is an incredible golf course for him. Okay. Like, I knew Ludwig was good when he was winning the RSM Classic. And I was telling people he's winning on golf courses that devalue what he does best. Just wait till he gets to Torrey Pines, Riviera, and Bay Hill, golf courses that accentuate his driver. Now he is on those golf courses, and he has putted really well on POA over a small sample size. Like, he has gained strokes putting at Torrey Pines and Pebble Beach. So Ludwig looks far more comfortable on POA right now than like Scotty Scheffler does, or Colin Morikawa does, or Rory does. Ludwig has putted really, really well on POA over the last couple of weeks. The counter argument is ownership. Okay. I know there are just jam the best play guys. That's not how I play DFS. Like I said, our friend Kobe won 100K with nobody over 11% in his lineup last week. They're going to be in this 9K range. If Ludwig is 25%, they're going to be Willie Wilcox. Should we get him on live?
Yeah. You're live right now on the show.
Sung Jay's caddy.
I'll call you back. I'm just doing a live show and you just called.
There we go. Real caddy info will be posted. I got a lot of Xander info too from the grounds too that I'll post in that I've started to post and we'll post in the Discord later. The point out, just to put a bow on the Ludwig thing, they're going to be elite players above 9K, like really, really good players that will probably be half the ownership of Ludwig this week. So you're going to have to ask yourself, do I like Ludwig double as much as I like Colin Morikawa? Would I take Ludwig minus 200 in a matchup over Colin Morikawa? Like, those are kind of the questions you'll have to answer this week. And if Ludwig wins, which he may, I may bet him to win. I don't know. I think he's in the mix for me. I love his course fit. He would be the first time winner here since Adam Scott in 2005. There's a golf course with like the third most sticky course history on the PGA Tour. Now, if you think Ludwig is Adam Scott, 2005 Adam Scott, or better, even better than 2005 Adam Scott, I understand that argument too. Like, he might be 2012 Rory for all we know. Right. But I think it's a fascinating decision this week. I think Justin Thomas is more mispriced than Ludwig, but it seems like more people are all over Ludwig this morning than JT. I like both. But I already bet JT at 22-1 this morning.
I don't know. Is he in that same category of players that the world has caught up a little bit to him? I know he's playing really well, but his Sunday was again meh, right?
But who do you trust more right now? Like, look at
Sam Burns. Sam Burns.
Fair, but do you trust JT or Cantlay? Hasn't gained on approach once this year. Do you trust Cantlay or JT more?
Cantlay, honestly.
Cantlay or JT or Morikawa more?
Morikawa for sure, especially here.
You're on JT. JT or Hovland more right now?
JT.
Yeah.
I think it was
for all of them. Yeah.
I think there was some belief or hope from Hovland people, because Hovland is such a great golfer that his short game had vastly improved to the level that you need to have to conquer these really tough courses. I need to see more evidence of that at this point. Burns is a fantastic golfer. I'm surprised he's in the eights.
Okay, why isn't Burns? Yeah, why is
Tony Finau more priced than Burns? I mean, and people will still play Burns. Finau, excuse me.
That makes no sense to me too. Like, what more does Burns have? Burns has been good at Riviera too. So I don't understand why Burns isn't in the 9K range and like this 8K range. Have you heard about the Adam Scott movement this morning too?
I think his course history here is good. This
2 wins, unbelievable. Yeah.
And I've always said there is an Augusta parallel here.
Totally.
You had Bubba, of course. You've had Adam Scott. Thomas Peters used to love playing this course, and I used to love watching Thomas Peters play because his swing was so incredible. Mm-hmm. And he fared well at Augusta. So yeah, I can get behind Adam Scott. The strangest price for me in the 8s if we wanted to move there.
Yeah.
Because I think the big 3, Homa, Morikawa, Cantlay, I think that's that's where I'm going to start.
No Xander for you?
No, never Xander.
Xander is like the most complete golfer on the PGA Tour.
Your fascination with Xander fascinates me. I'm gonna let you have it.
It's a data stuff. Like the data kills me a lot of times. I need more strokes gain guts in my model because I'm very obviously, as you know, analytically based. That's why you brought me on. But it can be a detriment to me as well. And Xander is such a complete golfer. That and my numbers think he's like 1982 Jack Nicklaus. It's just I need to find a way to get away from him this week.
Well, I think it was Damon. Someone was on my podcast years ago, and I said, "Does anyone on tour outside of Tiger sort of blow your imagination based on what he can do?" And they said, "Not really, except for Xander around the greens, like his creativity." And what he can do.
He just doesn't miss the center of the club face ever. And he is a complete, he's a really good POA putter. He's good at he's just good at he has no weaknesses in his game. But he doesn't have guts. He hasn't won in 18 months. So
and these are we can't sell this short in that. And a lot of caddies have weighed in on my threads over the years when I said this. But they're the most difficult, some of the most, if not the most difficult greens to read on tour.
100%.
So it's gonna, because you're going to be, I'm telling you right now, the player that you like, let's say it's Aubert, right? The cult of Aubert or Schauffele. On number 10, you're going to get to shot 3, 4.5 feet from the hole for par, and they're going to 3-putt. That's just going to happen on this course on number 10. So I think Burns in the 8s is a really complete golfer. Finau, Fleetwood, I just won't play. Tagala, I'm going to have to give that guy credit. I mean, he's extremely good iron player and extremely good around the green.
Yeah,
he's got guts. I mean, he's that guy.
The Sunday,
Cam Young, I think, is a trap.
You do? Okay. Can you make the case? Because I think a lot of people are going to look at Cam Young this week and say, Cam Young is back. He's on a golf course that he's been incredible at. He hits the ball a long way off the tee. He's a great long iron player. And he's finally in form. And this is the type of golf course that Cam Young typically plays well at.
Yeah. Okay. He may not be a trap. That was a trap.
Well, he still can't he still can't putt. I mean, it's just gonna come down to how ownership shakes out in this range. Like, what is the most popular build this week? Is it really skipping Scheffler? Like, is it really jamming Spieth and Ludwig in? We had, which we didn't even talk about last week.
It'll be skipping Scheffler.
We had this surprising flip last week, surprising to some, where JT at the 11th hour was far more over owned than Scheffler. There were in some contests that I was in where JT was 47, 48%, and Scheffler was like 32, 33%. And a lot of that
he's
switch,
vanilla. He's vanilla.
a
JT's
lot of that
exciting, right?
Yeah, a lot of that switch had to come because a lot of people looked at this and said, well, both of them can't really putt. So why would I play the guy at 11.5 when I could play the more fun, exciting golfer that I'm betting at 11-1 anyway at 10K? And I mean, Scheffler outperformed JT last week, and I faded JT and played Scheffler, but I'm just so fascinated if like where people are at on Scheffler and what the build is this week. Cause I just don't see Scheffler finishing worse than 8th on this golf course. I really don't. And Rory can finish 66th here. Doesn't mean I may not play him, but like Ludwig can finish 32nd here. All these guys, like Scheffler can't finish worse than 8th. You can clip this and I'm going to sound so dumb when he finishes.
I would say
60.
I would stretch it to maybe 12.
Sure, that's fine. 12th.
Xander, I don't think he finishes better than 30th, but that's just me being contrary.
You're out of your mind. Xander is top 10 here.
No, I just think it's tough because Fitzpatrick is interesting to me, low owned. Wyndham Clark always busts my brains in. Adam Scott maybe a little priced. Im is something. He's got the pulleys, got the lefties. He's got something going on with him right now. I just think that starting with those 2-3 will be the top 3 will be tough because you've got so much goodness. You could have a nice balanced build this week.
Such a good balance. So who's your highest owned on the slate on Monday morning? Ludwig?
Overall?
Yep.
Ludwig, 100%. I can feel it right now. I can see it in the streets. I can see it on Twitter with all the cards. If Saul is saying it on Discord, he's going to play him, forget it. I mean, because if Saul likes him, then 90% of the world will like him too. So
God, I thought the course history truthers would come out a little bit more with this one. I think people are just so enamored.
No cut event. This guy eagles everything. He birdies. He scores well. He just does.
We just haven't had a first timer win at Riviera since like the Bush administration.
You don't need to. You don't need to win. He could be 8th. He could be 8th and get there with 1,000 birdies and 4 eagles at number 1. And number 1, to me, I have in my notes on Twitter, feels like the most eagled hole on tour. This course gives up a lot of eagles, specifically on number 1.
Yeah, number 1 should be a par 4, but it's going to be a par 4 for the U.S. Open. But so if I gave you over under 27% Scotty Scheffler, are you taking the over or the under?
In the main tournament?
Yeah, $20. Like, let's talk what most.
He's under 27. He's under 27. Our over under, by the way, last week for Scheffler was 39.5. Yeah. He came at 39.1.
Yeah. And he was under in some over. Like that was the right ownership. My ownership was good last week. I didn't get the JT spike on some I missed on, but Scheffler did what I expected. JT surprised me in some contests. Okay, so then JT has to get ownership. Like how what did JT do wrong last week? Like he finished 12th. He was good. He gained strokes in all 4 major categories.
He finished 12th in a tournament that he was supposed to win, or at least top 3.
Yeah,
that's
but
the difference. That's the difference.
He's just been really good at Riviera.
The problem here is that you have a price range where I don't even believe he'll be chalk. I think Aubert will be chalk in this price range, and I think you've got a lot of attractive pricing in Morikawa, Cantlay that people love to play. People love playing Cantlay. I don't think Spieth will be played.
I was going to say, who's the lowest owned above 9? And part of me says Hovland because people are like, Hovland's broken, which be careful with that. a lot can change with a week of practice at home.
I think it's Spieth and Schauffele. I think Schauffele's a bad price. I think he should be 8-9.
Yeah. Okay, big guy. Xander should not be 8-9. And we may have to do like an over under.
No, 8 to 9 years old in terms of his height.
Community fun bet on Xander finishing position. But I'll take Xander Homa in a matchup if you want to do that. If you just want to do a straight up Xander Homa matchup,
absolutely. You name the price.
I don't bet as big as you and JBC, so I'm gonna keep it under $1,000. But we can talk on.
I'm in. I love it.
Yeah, 100's more my speed, maybe. So Spieth, I think Spieth lowest owned, Hovland lowest owned. But let's talk about let's get down. Let's go down, right? Like
I got to give you credit. A name that pops out in the sevens for his price this week, considering he did well last week, is Corey Connors, right? He wasn't the best Canadian. Nick Taylor was. Yeah. But he was good. He was decent.
T25. Right. And then beat Bo Hostler, which is all we care about at RPS.
Yeah. I don't know where the Bo Hostler narrative is coming from.
Kicked Bo Hostler's ass off the ownership, so I'm fine.
If you are the one pushing Bo Hostler, please come in our comment section and let us know. I don't know where the source. Where is the?
It's the coordinators. You're not paying. It's the coordinators.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the coordinators.
But you look at who was absolutely axed in terms of pricing this week. Obviously, it follows the betting market. However, Fowler and Matsuyama, right? I mean, now in the sevens. Matsuyama is now a mid-sevens player, which is crazy in 2024. But he's below Eric Cole. He's below Ben On. I still probably won't play Matsuyama, but it's still a hefty discount. That's a little bit of a discount.
I will play Matsuyama at 7.4. Also, are we not going to talk at all about Zalatoris 7.9?
Course history, bub.
Course history, like great fit, showed some signs of life at Torrey Pines. Yep. I don't think Zalatoris is ready to win again. But at 7.9, how is he not the highest owned player in the sevens? Like, you got to be like, Zalatoris is on betting cards. It's Riviera. This is Zalatoris.
Is he already?
People love Zalatoris before anything happened. Like, I think Zalatoris is going to be highly, highly owned, and it's chalk. I may consider eating. We'll see how things shake out.
Here's the benefit to us is that, well, people love Højgaard. They love Højgaard. They love Højgaard with Aubert. The benefit to us is that now you get JT Poston. Bad week, right?
Yeah, people are going to be done with JT Poston this week, I feel. There could be some opportunity there. Yeah.
Right. And then you get an opportunity at 7-8 now on a course, no-cut event. He can score. Does most everything well. And surprisingly, Siwoo Kim as well. I mean, he ran at it
last week. Great play last week, and
great short game. I don't know about Will Zalatoris' highest owned in the sevens. I don't know. Does Nick Taylor get there? Cam Davis, people love this guy. Some data will pop Cam Davis, and they're in the comment sections now.
Yeah, I like Cam Davis a lot.
There it is. There's your ownership is Cam Davis.
I like Cam Davis a lot this week from a data perspective. Yeah, so I think Zalatoris is going to get a lot of love at 7.9. And I think it gets pretty bleak once we get down here. Personally, this feels like a really, obviously there's 70 guys in the field, so. What I would have priced this tournament like so much differently. I would have priced like less guys above 9K, and I would have put them higher up. And then I would have also put more guys below 7.5. It's just, I don't like the way they did this.
Yeah, they're trailing the betting market, right? And I want to see the adjustments in the betting market right now after it's been released. So I assume that like a Zalatoris is being hit hard. I assume a Sam Burns is being hit hard. The first day that popped into my brain before pricing was released was like, I really like Sam Burns as a golfer. I will say this. We got to pause here for a second because we talked about this before the show. What we don't do enough is tell the people watching to like and subscribe.
Smash that like button, guys.
Smash
Just
it. Don't
smash it. Destroy your computer with a hammer.
Yes.
Smash that like button.
We don't do that enough because
we don't do that enough because, to be honest with you, Wiley,
I hate pumping shit.
I hate pumping shit too. I think it's a little corny, but we've also been lucky enough to build organically and really proud of the community that we've built here, that we don't need to hit everybody over the head 24/7 with nonstop smash, like, subscribe, giveaway. With that being said, we've gotten some word from our the higher ups, the C-suite, that we just you're being idiots. Like, you're just like leaving money on the table from an SEO standpoint. Like, and just fucking suck it up. Just fucking suck it up and remind people.
And when you say C-suite, that's me calling everyone idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
So we are sponsored by AutoZone. So maybe we give away a tire rotation at AutoZone. But here's the problem. You can like and subscribe this show, but if you're not in the zone, get the
your like won't be counted.
Yes, because we audit all subscribers every night. And we say, Andy, is this guy in the zone? No, he's not.
No.
Logan May, he's in the zone. Ghost Jam, not in the zone.
No, Ghost Jam's my favorite. Ghost Jam's always in the zone.
He's in the zone.
Natalie
is Natalie in the zone?
Yes, we actually need to give her a free RPS membership because she wants access to our Wednesday show as well, which is the premium one too.
That could have gotten a little risky. I set that up. I teed it up for you, and you said he's in the zone. It's Valentine's Day. That's the after hours RPS.
Okay, so like favorite guys below 7.5. Let's finish up there.
Can I go in the sixes too?
Yeah. Anybody below 7.5.
Let me tell you, because I've become a truther. I hated this guy forever. I never wanted to play him, but I'm telling you, I eyeballed the entire list looking for plays I would like. And like last week, Vegas course history last week, that number stood out to me. Stalling stood out to me, and he killed me. The name that stands out to me in the same sort of vein is Bezendahed. Seabez.
I love that. Didn't think you were going there. I love
great iron player, great around the green.
Yeah.
I think he's perfect for this course. And let me look at his course history. Has he played it before? Probably 12 missed cuts. He played last year. He's 58th. I think it's a safe price for a Bezendahed at 6-7. And I know exactly where you're going. You're going to Canadian next.
Yeah, I'm going Svensson. I'm going Svensson. Yeah. Listen, here's the thing about Svensson. Svensson had the wrong side of the draw, and he leapt out on 17 to miss the cut by 1. Now he returns to a golf course that Svensson finished 9th at Riviera last year. Okay. 9th, top 10 at Riviera. And he hit the ball well. The irons continue to be great. Like I love Svensson's fit at Riviera. 6.6. That's my favorite play. Svensson and Cameron Davis, Andy Lack favorites for the brand are my favorite guys under 7.5. What's Tiger's ownership? Over under 5%?
Oh, over, really? I think. Yeah, I think 7-1, no, 6-5. He's not going to play badly, right? He's not going to be the miscut, is he? You think his floor is pretty low?
Yeah, I think he has the lowest floor in the entire field. That doesn't mean he's going to finish last in the entire field. It's just when I run my simulation based off my projections, Tiger having a bad week is the most likely outcome compared to any other golfer in the field. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Yeah, well, it's just we don't have any actionable. Like, Sam Ryder is a really good player, and he's 6K. Sam Ryder's good.
I'm surprised he's a Chase Johnson levels. That's kind of an insult to Sam Ryder.
Sam Ryder's good. I played him 6K Pebble Beach, and he was finished middle of the pack. So, like I said, I'm rooting for Tiger. I don't need to have a cent on Tiger to cheer on his happiness. To be happy if he has success, I should say.
So you hate Tiger? Okay, let's write that one.
I love Tiger. I'm not going to watch him at Riviera this week because you don't need to watch, I don't need those crowds. I'd rather watch the guys I play with no crowds. But like the low sixes this week, Glover motivated after missing his tee time. Kuchar, great course history. Kevin Yu, like great player. We love Kevin Yu. Okay. And Chuck Hoffman, Mac Hughes, Nick Dunlop wins a tournament. Tiger, it's done a lot more than Tiger. So from a data perspective, no Tiger for me, but I wish him the best. I hope he plays well this week. That'd be awesome for LA. Like it'd just be awesome for golf if Tiger is relevant. That's the best outcome for all parties involved. Okay. I don't care if you're a LIV fan or a PGA Tour fan, or you just like going to a simulator. And if you're a Boston Common fan, like Tiger Woods squeezing anything more that we can from him out of golf is good. So I hope that he plays well this week. I do.
It'd be funny.
I wouldn't bet on it.
It'd be funny.
What?
Because that's a window to your right? That's a blind being pulled down, right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. Mm-hmm. It'd be funny. Wait, no. It'd be funny if you pulled that up and Natalie was like pressed to the window. Keeping an eye on Andy.
She's actually driving back to Davis today because she was here with me this morning. Last question for you before we get out of here. You big Valentine's Day guy? As a holiday? Like where does it rank in the holiday pantheon for you? Overrated, underrated, properly rated? Like where are you at on Valentine's Day?
I've been married 21 years.
Have you really? Congratulations,
I'm 47 years old.
I didn't know you've been married. You look great for 47.
Yeah, it's called
I don't
peptides.
know.
Peptides, cigarettes.
It's called Botox, as many people in the chat have mentioned.
Yeah,
Wiley's on his 7th facelift.
Botox and face peels. No, it's called eating the same thing every day.
No red meat for you, right?
No red meat. Ton of green vegetables. Limited gluten, not a lot of sugar. Yeah. Marlboro Lights.
Good for you.
I will say that it ranks pretty low. I mean, my daughters like it, I guess.
Well, your daughters are your daughters dating yet? I feel like your daughters are too young to date.
They're not dating yet.
I'm protected.
That I know of. Because dad's intimidating.
Right. But where's your wife at in terms of Valentine's Day?
At this point, we're just
21 years in.
Yeah. Just stay away from me more so than like she's like that to me. Like just
stay away.
Get the fuck away from me, you nose whistler. No, I think it's okay. But for you,
yeah,
because you're still in the courting stuff and the
honeymoon phase,
holding hands stuff, and here's some flowers stuff. I mean, there's some expectations. So, what are you doing for Valentine's Day? Anything special?
We went to a great restaurant in Malibu over the weekend called Jeffrey's. It was phenomenal. And just a nice, nothing crazy, but, there will probably be some stuff sent to, cause the actual Valentine's Day is Wednesday.
She's behind that window right now. Too,
Wednesday,
right?
that I will spend in writing articles and doing shows for my day job. So, just, I would say that I think that there's probably too high expectations on that holiday for the general public. But I think if you are really happy in a nice, happy relationship, and it can be a wonderful time to celebrate that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if you're lucky enough to surround yourself with a few people that are there with you when you're on your last breaths, you survived life. That's it.
There you go.
Life's a very small circle, man. Except for you and me. We're buds.
There you go.
When I die, Andy Lack is holding my hand.
I said that on recent podcasts. You're the small circle. Okay. All right. Let's get out of here.
Okay. Rock and roll. Bye, Andy.